Back before COVID, before March of 20,000, we were doing real good in terms of recruitment. Everybody was excited to work. But once the COVID hit, the Navajo Nation operation was suspended by Bureau of Census field operation. One of the impacts was the workforce. We had probably close to 4,000 recruitment before COVID. But after we restarted operations, seems like it's been hard just to get folks on board. Then also the training, you want to get as many folks to the training, but because of the requirement of gathering for the Navajo Nation and the state of New Mexico and Arizona, you can only have 10 or less for gathering. So it was hard to train a lot of people at one time. The other impact was the shortening of training. Most of the trainings were online. We just onboarded the employees, and then also we gave them the equipment, the devices. Then we sent them home. And of course, for Navajo Nation, what is the impact of sending people home with a device because of lack of connectivity, because of lack of internet at home? Then, of course, for Navajo, we still have a lot of elderlies, and they usually have community meetings. But because of COVID, there was no meetings. So how do we spread the word on census? They listen to the radio, but a lot of times they rather hear it in person and looking at you, answering the question. When we started operation, the non-response operation, which is the bigger operation, the first operation that we did was update leave, where we delivered the questionnaire to each of the housing unit on Made America, like Phoenix, where they have street address. Postcards were sent to them. The postcard had their census ID number already. But for Indian country, for Navajo, for rural country, we had to deliver the questionnaire to each of the housing unit because we lacked street address. Because of COVID, we couldn't knock on the door. We just left the questionnaire on the door handle without talking to anybody. But the proper way of doing this in our native tradition is that you knock on the door. Grandma or grandpa will open the door and you greet them. You have that friendly exchange. And then you give them the packet and say, this is what this is. This is how you fill it out. This is how you do it. So I'm going to give it to you or have somebody fill it out for you. That's the exchange that was missing because of COVID. Census is all about getting your fair share. If you don't have a good count, you have a impact. Federal funding, a lot comes from the federal government. The roads that we travel on, the schools that are being built, all the other necessities that Indian country depends on. They're not handouts. It's getting your fair share. The other one is equal representation. As Navajo, we cover 3 states. And we also cover 11 counties. So, if we have a good count, we impact representation. For Navajo Nation, our response rate is only at 18.7 as of Thursday. There's 2 ways to make it 100%. Either you increase your soft response, or you pick up the non-response operation, where we have probably a good 350 working on Navajo, trying to knock on the door where we left a packet, where there was no self-response. We've been having a lot of awareness campaign out there. One of the things that we've been doing out here is food distribution. And over the weekend, we had a good 300 vehicles. On Friday, we probably had 300 vehicles that had a drive-through food distribution. And then at the same time, we were filling out census questionnaires. Also, what the Navajo Nation president has been doing is that on these tribal roads, we've been setting up roadblocks, just giving out flyers, the census awareness, saying that there's 4 ways to respond. And when I look at the response rate in those tracks in those communities, it seems like that track has picking up when we did the awareness roadblock. So this week and the following week, we'll be doing it in Arizona, some of these high travel roads. We need to be counted. 2020, the logos out there, I count, we count. Let's all be counted. That's the logo out there. So, we'll do the best we can within the next number of days.